Hello, Anderson. So happy to see all of you. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. I'm going to read a book today called St. Patrick's Day in the Morning. So listen along. This book is actually written by Eve Bunting, and its illustrations are by Jan Brett. Jamie waked early and remembered it was St. Patrick's Day. He climbed carefully over his big brother Kevin and his bigger brother Sean. The stairs were cold on his bare feet. The kitchen was cold too, the fireplace full of dead ashes like chalk. Nell the sheepdog lay in the rocker. "Here, Nell." Jamie tried to snap his fingers the way Sean did. Nell uncurled herself from the cushions. Jamie sat in the warm spot where she had slept. St. Patrick's Day in the morning. The green sashes were laid on the table. The big one was Dad's. The next biggest was Sean's. The next biggest was Kevin's. Their fringes were crusted with gold. There was no sash for Jamie. "It's not fair, Nell," Jamie said. "I want to walk in the parade too. They say I'm too small." That I couldn't get to the top of the acorn hill. But what do they know? Jamie slid off the chair. His mother's raincoat hung behind the door. He put it on. He put on his dad's black hat and Sean's sash. He took Kevin's flute from the dresser. "Come on, Nell," Jamie said. Outside, the mountains were as green as cat's eyes. Clouds hung in tatters around their tops. "Head up, chest out," Jamie said. "Follow me." They marched down the street. None of the chimneys was smoking yet. Milk bottles stood on the front steps waiting to be let in. Kit Kelly's donkey put her head over her gate. "A happy St. Pat's to you, donkey dear," Jamie said. He lifted his hat the way his dad did to the ladies. Kit Kelly's donkey curled her lip. "Silly donkey," Jamie said. "What do they know?" The sky was the color of Mother's pearl brooch, the one she wore on Sundays. Jamie marched down to the middle of the street, past the shuttered shops. Barney the baker was a white blur behind his window. There was a whiff of baking bread. Nell turned her head toward the smell and drooled. "Come on, Nell," Jamie said. Hubble the hen man trundled his wheelbarrow along the footpath. His eggs were piled in it, all brown and white. "Good morning to you," Jamie said. "I see your hens are laying well." "It's the sweet corn and the sweet talk I feed them," Hubble said. "Pick yourself an egg, Jamie." Jamie took a brown one off the top. It was still warm from the hen. "Happy St. Pat's," Jamie said as he lifted his hat. He put the egg safe in his pocket. Jamie and Nell walked under the arches that spanned the street. Jamie wet the end of the flute and spit like Kevin did. Then he blew on it, and oh, the sounds he made! He puffed his cheeks, his fingers danced across the wind holes. Nell howled and put her tail down. Silly Nell! And what did she know? Mad old Miss McMulligan threw open her window and leaned out. "Save us all!" she yelled. "That's a terrible noise you're making, Jamie Donovan." She banged her window shut. That mad old Mrs. McMulligan, and what did she know? Mrs. McMulligan, big red rooster, cock-a-doodle-dooed from the roof. His waddled, rattled, and Nell howled again. It was as good as a chorus to go with the music. Jamie was sorry there was no one to hear but mad old Mrs. McMulligan. It was hard climbing up Acorn Hill with all Jamie's breath going into the music. He better save his strength for the marching. He put the flute over his shoulder and stepped out. Mrs. Sims of the halfway up sweet shop leaned on her half door. "You're the early one," she said. "Come on in, Jamie. You likely could use some refreshments." Isn't that so pretty? Jamie's head came to the level of Mrs. Sims' counter. Bottles of ginger ale stood on it. When he looked through them, everything was orange. Mrs. Sims gave him a bottle all for himself. He gave him a bun and a cherry on top of it, too. Nell let her tongue hang out and begged nicely. Mrs. Sims threw her 2 jelly beans. Jamie ate his bun. He put the ginger ale bottle in his other pocket, the one that wasn't carrying the egg. Seems like he's getting lots of nice treats today. "Here's a wee flag for you, too," Mrs. Sims said. "You can wave it later at the parade." Jamie sniffed. Mrs. Sims was nice, but what did she know? Wasn't this the parade this very minute? With him in it? He took the flag anyway. We'll have to be getting on," Mrs. Sims said. We've a brave bit still to go." "Aye," said Mrs. Sims. "You'll be saving a good place for yourselves for the watching." Jamie nodded. "Come on, Nell." There he is with his flag. The flute was getting awful heavy on Jamie's shoulder. He held the flag out in front of him. It was a very small flag, but it felt heavy too. "Don't be giving up now, Nell," Jamie puffed. "We're nearly there." They turned the sweep up Acorn Hill, and they were there. Jamie stopped. "Look, Nell." In front of them was the field where the bands would be and the stage for the Irish dancing. There was a green ribbon around the platform to keep the people off. Jamie crept under it. He sat right in the middle of the stage, and Nell lay beside him. The sun was coming up. Jamie took the cap off his ginger ale and drank. He poured some in his hand for Nell, and all of them were saying he was too small. He said, "What do they know?" The sun jumped up like a firecracker from behind the mountain. "A happy St. Pat's to you, sun," Jamie shouted. The words made a great shimmer of sound in the emptiness. You think he's early? Jamie pushed Nell's head from his knees and stood up. The last drop of ginger ale was gone from the bottle. He struck the green and yellow flag in it. Then he put the bottle right in the middle of the stage. "See," he told Nell, "that means we were here first. We did it no matter what they said. Now we can go home." It was easy going down Acorn Hill. There was nothing to it at all. The town was waking up. Some of the chimneys were smoking. The milk bottles had been let in, but Jamie's own house was still asleep. He opened the back door. The clock tick-tocked. The turf ashes lay in their white drifts. Jamie took off his mother's coat. He set Hubble's egg on the table. He climbed in the rocker and Nell jumped beside him. He laid the flute across his knees and closed his eyes. Oh, the music he had made. They'd not hear the likes of it all day. And wait till they saw the flag, the mystery of it, the wondering there would be. There were feet coming down the stairs, but his eyes were too heavy to lift and look. "Oh, our Jamie," Kevin's voice was soft, "sound asleep, and with the sash and the flute in our dad's black hat. And are you sad now? And you not big enough to walk in the parade?" Jamie kept his eyes closed and smiled. Silly Kevin. And what did he know? The end. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. I miss you terribly and look forward to the day we can all reunite on Anderson's campus. Have a great St. Patrick's Day. Until next time.